What's going on, y'all? If you don't know, let me turn this so it'll be a regular. Sorry. If you don't know, I've basically spent the past 3 weeks staying with a friend due to my pipes freezing. Boiler went out, pipes froze, pipes unfroze. Basically thawed themselves out once we put down a Mr. Buddy jet contractor heater in the main portion of the house and in the crawl space. Well, we had to call the water department to have the water turned off a day after it started to thaw out because water was literally gushing into the bedrooms because the two radiators have been completely, they're gone. We have to replace them. So, and with the most water damage being in the second bedroom, which is where my mom stays when she comes to visit, and she stays with me for a few days to a few weeks out the month, here and there. And when I say damage, like the flooring has completely bubbled and buckled to the point where you can't even open and close the door properly because the floor has risen because of the water damage. So there's definitely going to be some additional renovation, remodeling work that's going to be added into the cost, labor and time and energy. And like I said, it's been 3 weeks. The 15th of February will mark 4 weeks since this house has been livable. And I know a lot of folks are like, but what's the issue with the heat? That shouldn't be the problem. I live in Michigan. I live in the Midwest in Michigan. It can literally be well below zero. So yes, you can't live in a house that doesn't have heat, nor you don't have water. You don't have running water because the pipes burst when they thawed out. And then if you would have seen the crawl space was literally filled of water. I'm talking about you could go deep sea fishing in the crawl space. So we had to spend a few days with a water vacuum to suck all that up. And then we have to replace pipes, replace radiators. And now, especially with her room, flooring is going to have to be done. Additional things are going to be needed. Now, there's been a discussion of bringing the pipes from underneath the house in the crawl space and putting them on top so we don't have to constantly go in the crawl space when we have these issues. On top of getting a sump pump that's in the crawl space that'll pull that water out because you don't want it to just sit. Not only does that damage your pipes and the foundation and structure of your house, but your crawl space also has to be maintained. So it's a lot of money and time and energy that's going into this. Luckily, I have homeowners insurance and called them last week, and they were discussing how I likely can put in a claim so I don't have to come out of pocket for a lot of these. Well, we've already came out of pocket, but you may be able to get reimbursed for the money that I've already put out, and then also have it be taken care of for all the remaining repairs that are necessary and needed by the insurance. So I'm gonna keep on saying this: if you can afford it in your budget and you are a homeowner, I strongly recommend homeowners insurance. If you are a renter, I recommend renter's insurance. If you have a vehicle, a car, and you drive it and everything else, I recommend car insurance. However, I also understand it's very difficult out here financially and economically for a lot of people. You have people being laid off left and right. You have people who are literally being forced into homelessness because they cannot afford their monthly rent or monthly mortgage. Any little small thing happens and it can literally derail a person completely. What I'm dealing with has been very, so I understand. So you know what I'm saying? And I also count my blessings. I'm thankful to my family, to my friends, to those who have checked in, who have helped, who have supported, and like I said, a huge shout out to my friend who's been letting me stay with them. Because again, I work remotely, so it's not like I have an office to go to for work. So it's been crazy, but I'm very thankful and grateful to the people in my life. But I'll definitely be the first to say this has definitely made me rethink ownership, and I'm gonna explain why. Number one, if you are single, you have no children, you have no family, what have you, I don't really think home ownership makes much sense, because again, it's literally just you, and or it's you and a partner, and y'all don't have no kids, y'all don't plan on having kids, y'all don't want kids. It's just a lot of overhead just to say you got a place to stay, is my whole point. A lot of people want to keep using this rhetoric that is cheaper than rent. And here's the thing, I feel like that's a very overused blanketed statement. It has the potential of being cheaper than rent. It can be cheaper than rent, but that is not always the case, especially for these new homeowners. You new homeowners are paying the same amount as for rent, on top of the fact that those property taxes are on you. Home insurance is on you. Any issue with the maintenance, you need repairs, pipes burst, a water heater went out last year, had to buy a new water heater. Again, that's on you. They completely leave all of that information out. Meanwhile, yeah, you might be paying $1,500 a month for rent, but it's not your responsibility when the water heater goes out, when the boiler goes out, the furnace goes out, a pipe bursts, things of that nature. That's not on you. You can call maintenance. You can call the landlord. Meanwhile, when you're the homeowner, that's on you to fix. This is why you see a lot of people with roofs that should have been replaced years ago, but they can't afford it, so they're just dealing with what they have. You know, it's a lot of infrastructure issues with these individual, single family, what have you, households, because people do not have the money to repair the house. I'm just keeping it real. That's why I think it's hilarious when people want to push this home ownership stuff without also expressing how people need to make enough money in the first place to be a homeowner. And at this point, if your average house is, you know, 300,000 plus, 300,000 plus, over $250,000 is the average price of houses in the USA in 2024 as of February 5th. Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Happy birthday, Trayvon Martin. Moment of silence for Trayvon Martin. So when you look at that, it's recommended that you only purchase a house that's up to 2 to 3 times your annual income. Well, people that are making less than $100,000 a year are not going to be able to afford the average price of today's houses in the USA. Again, if the house is $300,000+, over $250,000, your $50,000 a year or less salary, wages, income is not going to make you eligible to purchase that house. And people completely leave out all of these home maintenance and issues and repairs that come with being a homeowner. It's easier said than done. And I'm not saying this to discourage people, but I'm saying this to paint a bigger picture. Okay, you can't just use a one-size-all-fits approach and have these blanketed statements about home ownership when that is not the case. Now, are there people that are saving money and paying far less than folks that are paying thousands of dollars a month for rent? Yes, I have a personal colleague who pay their house note or their mortgage is $500 a month. That's a lot more doable than paying $1,500 a month for a place that you don't own. So yes, there are people that have very affordable, very manageable mortgages, okay? Monthly house note payments, mortgages. But that's not everybody's story. Again, if your credit score ain't where it needs to be, if your debt to income ain't where it needs to be, because that debt to income ratio has to be correct, you don't make enough money, you don't earn enough money, home ownership is not necessarily something that's just going to be thrown at you. And then if you do get a house that's a fixer-upper, hello, you got to have capital to do the fixing up. So it's just like, and we are not making enough money. I'm just being real. I make $49,280 a year gross annual income. I'm supposed to make $4,100 a month, $4,100 a month. Gross monthly income. After taxes and deductions, that's a whole different story, honey. Because after taxes and deductions, I basically lose $800. So I get about $1,616 every 2 weeks instead of the $2,050 that I'm supposed to get. And then taxes, deductions, Social Security. If you have a 401k, you have some type of retirement, your health care insurance, taxes and deductions. I lose 25% of my income essentially. And people don't realize that extra $800 could have gone a long way. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's money that could be going to bills. That's money that could be going to pay off debt. That's money that could be going to get things renovated and fixed up at this house. That's money that could be going back into your family, to your friends, to your community, to yourself. That's you being able to reinvest and save and do things. That's you know what I'm saying? That's damn near $1,000. And that's just like, and then I'm lucky to get $1,000 back when it's time to do tax refunds because I'm single and I don't have any kids. So it's just absolutely ridiculous how things are. And I am the first to say it's annoying. So I just wanted to give y'all, a real life update on what I've been going through, what I've been dealing with the past 3 weeks. All while still working a full-time job, still got a part-time job, still got side hustles, still got family, still got other responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And then too, I'm thinking about my dogs. Like I come back and forth to the crib multiple times throughout the day to check in on them, make sure they're good. Then I gotta keep buying kerosene. That's $25 to $30 per 2.5 gallons that I buy. And that's every day just about, because it lasts about 10 to 12 hours depending on how high you have the heater up. Because again, we still don't have the boiler on, still don't have the pipes, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. So I'm about to go in here, check in on my dogs, clean up a little bit, get the heater running, get the trash and stuff ready, because Tuesday's trash day tomorrow, and wash clothes, do laundry, which I gotta do laundry at the laundromat. So again, it's a lot of just, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And then paying as you go to get things repaired, because until we get that claim approved by the homeowner's insurance, that's on me to pay out. Granted, I can get a reimbursement, but that's after the fact. In the meantime, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So out here doing what I gotta do. And like I said, still got other responsibilities. Still got other people I look out for, So I'll be the first to say, like, adulting is absolute trash as far as I'm concerned. And it's trash not because we're adults. It's because we do not have the systems and structures in place to allow people to actually be thriving and prospering, healthy adults. No, instead, we're constantly living check to check. We're constantly in survival mode, and it's like, for a lot of us, we've been in survival mode either our entire lives, or since we were teenagers, or since we became adults, young adults. So like for a lot of people, they've never been out of survival mode. And then for some of us, we had a taste of what life was like before survival mode. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see any of us getting back to that life, if you ever had it in the first place. I don't ever see that happening, because we drastically need to be paid what it costs to live. And most of us are not. There's a study saying in the state of Michigan, you need to make $53,000 or more to afford to live here. I'm a good $4,000 beneath that. And that's with over 10 years of experience, 2 associate's degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, countless certifications. Again, most of us arguably should be making 6 figures by now or more. But again, you see how they do people. And I'm going to say this, the federal minimum wage should be $25 an hour by now. The last time it got increased was July 24th, 2009. I was 16 years old working my first job at the daycare. So again, I'm 31 years old. They haven't increased the federal minimum wage going on 15 damn years, honey. Come July of this year, it'll be 15 years since they've increased the federal minimum wage, which currently is still $7.25 federally since July 24th, 2009. So it's ridiculous. By now, that shit should be $25 an hour. Because if it was $25 an hour, individual states would either still be at 25 or they would be paying more because their cost of living is higher, which would then go to us who are already working, who already have degrees, who already have certifications, who already have years of experience. We will be getting paid well over $25 an hour by now, which is what we should be getting paid any damn way. But that's just what I'm talking about. This country don't give a damn. But then they'll sit up and talk about how nobody's buying houses, nobody's starting families, nobody's paying off their debt, everybody's living on credit cards. You've created it to be this way. You won't allow people to earn a living. You won't allow people to get out of debt. Everything costs, everything comes with interest. So again, you created the issue. You want people to start families, then make an environment that allows people to start families. And this ain't it. You can't be sitting up constantly living in fear of the next climate disaster, who you gonna be in war with, if you got clean drinking water, if you can afford a house, a shelter, can you get groceries? That's not the type of environment you want to be bringing in life. So honestly, millennials and Gen Z, we're making the right decision by not having kids. Shit, they're not affordable. We can't even take care of ourselves correctly. Anyways, that's been my update. More videos to come. Stay tuned.